Hello guys, today I'm gonna share a new feature. So in traditional billing vendors, whenever you have to calculate metering and send usage, you often calculate things and aggregate things on your side and then send the final values to the billing engine, right? And at Lago, we don't like this. We like when you send the raw usage and we do the job for you. And this is why we created the feature called SQL Custom Expression. So instead of calculating things on your side and then sending the usage to Lago, you can build some custom expression aggregation and advanced operation here to compute complex B-level metrics. So I have here the example of a compute metric, and I'm going to use the custom expression to calculate and compute things through Lago instead of doing that beforehand, right? I'm going to give you a few examples, and the first one is a very simple one. Let's say I'm going to do this, okay, and I'm going to do plus 10. In that case, I'm going to test the expression, and that's doing the calculation for me, right? That's a very simple use case, and we are going to build more and more complex use case. So what if I want to round this operation here? Then I can add this round syntax in SQL and test the expression here, and that's rounding that, right? I can do also, let's say here, the seal, whatever you have in mind, and then by testing that, that's also sealing up to the right value. That's some very simple custom expression and SQL syntax, but you can go deeper into this and you can build some really complex metric. I'm going to give the first example about these compute metrics, and I'm going to calculate the seconds used based on the timestamps of my events, right? So here I have an event example. I'm sending the ending date of the event. There is a timestamp where also the event timestamp I want to send to the event to calculate the difference between the two and make sure I grab the seconds. And I want to send the number of gigabytes consumed for this usage-based component here, okay? So I'm going to go and copy that here. I want to select the ended at timestamp, and I want to subtract to these the timestamp of the event. So that means you can use any field of this event, right? So I'm going to test this expression. Here you have the difference between the two timestamps. But then I want to catch the number of seconds used for these specific events. So I'm going to go and divide these by 3600 to get the seconds, right? So by doing that, I'm getting the number of seconds consumed. That's awesome. That's like the core computation is handled by Lago instead of doing that on your side. And then I want to multiply that by the number of gigabytes consumed. So let's say 5 gigabytes consumed between these two timestamps, and I want to get the seconds, the gigabyte seconds, right? So I'm going to test the expression, and then I got the gigabytes per second. So that's awesome. That's exactly what I want to have, right? So I'm going to define this custom expression, and I'm going to add this billable metric. Here, I want to price these gigabyte seconds in a plan, and I'm going to call that the start plan. It's going to be the start plan. And I'm going to have a subscription fee here, and I'm going to bring this compute metric, and that's going to be, let's say, 0.01 per gigabyte second. Simple plan, advanced computation. Here I have a customer. I'm going to assign this plan to my customer. Let's pass here the external subscription ID. I have this one. There you go. And I'm going to assign this plan to my customer. Here on my usage, I can see that I have the compute. And what I want to do is basically to send the raw events and the raw properties to this event object, and Lago does the job for you and apply the custom SQL expression. So let's say I want to do this here. I'm going to send that event. here I have the advanced computation, all right? The second used based on the gigabyte and the NDDAT. So I'm gonna refresh that. And as you can see, the number of units are automatically consumed. And I can change, for example, here, let's say the gigabytes consumed, and I'm gonna send these back. And again, that's improving over time the number of units. So that's the first use case, compute complex syntax and aggregation logic through SQL directly in Lago. I'm going to give you another example. The other example is not going to use like some integers or floats. It's going to use a basic string, right? So I want to have the number of unique seats per application. So it's going to be unique seats here. And I want to count the unique number of seats, but instead of using a unique field and sending the final value, I want Lago to calculate the custom expression. So I want Lago to calculate more advanced computation, and that's what I'm going to send here. So I'm going to give a shot and try this one. And I want to concatenate two fields. I want to concatenate first the user ID and then the app ID to get the unique number, the unique users per application ID. So I want to concatenate these two fields to get unique users per application. So I'm going to go and send here, let's say seats 1, and I'm going to go and find these here and get app number 1. And by doing that, Lago will automatically aggregate these into a concatenated field, and this is the result that is going to be used to count the number of unique seats, right? So concatenation of two properties is building a field, and we are using that to calculate the number of unique seats. I'm going to define this expression here. I'm going to add the billable metric, so it's going to be user ID and app ID. I'm going to add that to my plan, the one I've been using before. Here, that's the unique seats per application. Let's say it's going to be $1 per unique seats. I'm going to save that plan and get back here to the usage. Here you can see you have the unique seats per application. So I'm going to get back and select these codes here, compute, and I'm going to do first the user ID. Okay. And that's going to be, let's say, user number 1. And then it's going to be the app ID. And the app ID would be, for this specific event, the app number 1. So by doing that, I'm going to send the usage to calculate the number of unique seats per application. So I'm going to send that. And you see that the result is the concatenation of those two fields. And so Lago gives you the result of a unique seats based on this concatenation. If I resend that, as I'm resending the same result of concatenation, Lago won't increase the metric in real time. It will deduplicate the number of unique seats per application. But if I decide to change here the app ID and send app number 2 for the same user, as I'm doing the number of unique seats across my applications, I'm going to send that. And so it's a new result. So I'm going to add a new unit. This is how you can use advanced computation like concatenations to calculate seats and unique users across your application. So this is how you can use Lago to compute advanced metric and don't handle the logic on your side. Lago takes care of all that, and that's why we are the best metering solution out there.